Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So it is 6:15. Hopefully I'm awake on time to find a setup. So I'm gonna do this every single morning, looking for 5 handles minimum. The plan is I put 20K into my paper trading account and I will be seeing what I can do with it, following my plan, right? So one contract, one pair, something I forgot last week, and I paid the price a little bit on that one. One contract, one pair. And, if I can double that to 40, then I'll double it to two contracts, 63, etc., etc. That's just how we go. All right. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can find something in between the 6:30 and 7:30 time frame. Let's get tiny. Let's get tiny. Cool. So let's see where we are right now. This is my actuals. Perfect. So what have we done? Let's look at the daily. Ah, all right. So my preference is, and these are all new week opening gaps. So my preference is for them to come and take out 42, 44, 50. Um, but the markets will do whatever they want to do. But we were consolidating inside of this range. And we did manage to slightly close a candle above it. This week's opened a little bit into above it as well. So not too bad. Let's open up my actual and the Dixie. So let's see what's up with the Dixie. So while that's loading, let's take a look at the monthly. So it's a green candle that's forming. Weekly. Well, this week's candle has started off red. And that's the daily. All right. And the Dixie, what are you doing with your life? Let's take a look here. So, wow, they did come up here and tap that volume imbalance and then dropped. So they need to take this out with some gusto for me to feel like they're going to continue on downward. So we'll be watching it somewhat closely. Let's go to the 5 minute on it. All right, so it's been clawing its way back up. Next buy side is here at 101, 842. Sell side's all the way down here at 101, 529. So let's look at the 1 hour. All right, so let's clean up a little bit. And next buy side in my mind is all the way up here on the 1 hour. And let's leave that guy. And we'll come back to this fair value gap. So 6 p.m. on Sunday, we opened up here. New week opening gap, 41.7450. And we closed there, 41.71. So I'm not going to bother to note that since it's inside of this bigger one. Or should I? Because this area is getting really, really like busy. All right. So from last week, we made a bit of a shift. Still bullish. So what are they reaching down into? So fair value gap right here. They've busted below it a little bit, so I don't know. They haven't made their way down to this guy right here. Looks like they're hanging out inside of this wick. Let's go to 15 minute. Or should I be more focused on this fair value gap that they tapped? So let's note that and see how well that works out for us. We also have the high of this candle. Fascinating how these things work. Let's see, it's the high of that is 41.6425, and the low of this candle is 41.64. Oh, the close is 41.65.25. Ah, the body. Fascinating. Anyway, that's that. Let's come over here and let's take a look at the 15-minute. I'm looking for 5 handles minimum. Okay, so on the 15-minute, we've entered into this order block right here. Let's see how they behave. So far, it's the open of this candle. 41.64.25. And the low of this candle, 41.64. Okay. So they were held in consolidation. They took out these relatively equal lows, busted below this fair value gap right here. The only thing that's in the way at the moment is the order block itself. Now, let's see. Do we have any news? Oops. Sorry about that. All right. So we have the CAD having some stuff at 8:30. We have Empire State indexing, whatever. A few things, nothing too crazy today. So we'll see how it behaves at 8:30. A few light things at 9 and 10. Yeah, so it's a relatively light day. Tuesday we have CPI for CAD. GBP has some stuff. Nothing too exciting. For the US specifically, unemployment claims on Thursday. Okay, so very, very obvious at the half point here, buy side hanging out. Order block right here. Let's drop down to a 5-minute. And let's see, how are we doing? How are we doing, guys? Looks like we're relatively in lockstep and drop in. But he's taking out these. Okay. Symmetrical. Symmetrical at this point. Okay. So what do we have? We have, let's see here. Order block here. Fair value gap right in here for this other order block. I want to see what they do if they choose to take this out. We're still at 623. In order for a proper shift to occur, I need them to... Oh, hold on. So we've got a volume imbalance right here. Let's note that. So we had a shift right here. This is all very choppy. All very, very choppy. So what would I need to go long? Because I am bullish, right? And we're so close to this new week opening gap. And just for posterity, let's note the opening price for Sunday. Okay, so we opened here. Let's give that a different color. White. And Friday, we closed here. gaps. That was for 17. Let's put that to the right. And just for funsies, let's also note the midpoint. Why am I hiding this? Dashed line. Complete. All right, so we had a lot of consolidation. Where did we open? Where's our midnight? So we opened here, approximately. It's midnight, and then where's 8 o'clock? Sunday night. Not too far. No, it's there. Oh, at the opening price. Okay, cool. All right. So so I'm aware. See how it behaves inside of this order block right here. There's also a volume imbalance right there. Let's see. Yes, it's gonna get a little busy. So volume imbalance right there. So if we're gonna continue up long, gotta see how it behaves. Right now we're bouncing, consolidating between these two. And just so we don't have, yeah, that's fine. Let's leave it like that. So, anything else I'm missing in this general vicinity? Because I do miss things. Still very young. Fair value gap below that, it's fine. This would have been a nice breaker. Low, lower, low, traded through. All of this breaker, came back into this order block, and then took off to dig into this and into this new week opening gap. I'm learning whenever this one exists, it's probably going to come back down to that. So there's another example of it. So right now, nothing for me to do. So we seem to be stuck between these two rocks and hard places. So there is a fair value gap inside of here, from here to here as well. So what I want to see is it, break out of one of these and then tap it and then drop. Question becomes, so we know we have buy side up here. Where is sell side? Which is below that into this fair value gap. I mean, this relative equal lows down here is where I think we would be drawing to. And if we're coming all the way down here, then we're going to eat into this new week opening gap. So let me just note that. Sell side and buy side is up here, so I'm not going to write it. And I'm going to wait. So one of these has to close above something. I love it, right? Everything is hurry up and wait. Grab my notebook. Let's pick a color for the day. So I got off the treadmill. Okay, we went blue, so let's get another fun color, Keep it fun and interesting. So we got blue, we've got red, we've got purple. You know, let's go purple today. All right, so looking at my morning routine. Uh, did we outline the high time frame PD arrays? And note buy side and sell side, we noted those, yes. Looked at the pairs to see if there's any divergence between them. There isn't. And the weekly profile stuff we'll take a look at starting Tuesday. Well, I'll let you on the Tuesday close. Let's get that. Let's get our purple pen. And today is the 17th. 4/17/23. So about 6:20 a.m. start. Futures symmetrical. Assuming I can spell that right. Hahaha. Price. So it feels like it's inside, price stuck between, let's go stuck between volume imbalances. So I'm going to wait for one to be broken because we're at a bullish order block here. And perfectly happy for them to dig back in and take these out. Now, the fair value gap that's here, let's see, should I note that? Because it'd be nice if we could turn it into an inversion level. Because look, we're just hanging out inside of it. Let's give it a different color for the moment, something light and airy. And let's make it even lighter. So once they break out of this, I want it to turn it into an inversion level. It's coming back up into the midnight opening price right here. It's also kind of just hanging around it. Actually, no, sorry. What is this? Why is it there? Let's delete that. This is the midnight opening price, so I don't know what that was. So let's see how it behaves in here. There's so just gotta wait. My preference would be for it to break out, take this out to make a little bit of a shift, and then we can make our way back up. Because we were just consolidating, we did have a shift here. It's not pretty though. Shift. Didn't really give us anything except to use this as support and then drop. It's very choppy. And given the choppy nature of it, I don't know if I'm going to get anything clear. So while we're waiting, let me show you so I switched it out to $20,000 last week because I'd like to see if I can start with that. So on the 12th, on Wednesday. So I promptly lost $300 approximately. And then I mitigated a little bit of it same day, just a little bit. And then on Thursday, I started to work on the 5 handle. And then I was in a very nice space. And then on Friday, I was being quite silly in the morning. I traded the NASDAQ and the ES, so stopped out. And I actually 10:30, I had an entry and the price was wrong, so I killed it immediately. Then stopped out. And then I went back in again, lost, came back at, well, didn't lose $75, but I didn't trust it, so I closed it, I suppose. And then I had a setup that was similar to this one up here, where we had a low, lower, low traded through, but I didn't notice that there was also a order block inside of here that they could come down to. So I had my entry higher up. They came back down into the order block and stopped me out. But then I re-entered and got, recouped some of that. Could have gotten a lot more, honestly. I think it ran up like, I don't know, let's see, 90 ticks or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, like that was 9:45. Hold on. It's Friday, 9:15. Oh yeah, so this is what I was talking about Friday. And it came back down, yeah, and ran me out. Yeah. Yeah. They've been consolidating hard, like really, really hard. I'm still very bullish, but like I said, I need them to break out of this while I'm in balance, turn this into an inversion, and then I will continue up into here to get my morning stuff. My market session thing, oops, starts at 6:45. So I'm just on here early to see how things work out. But I was able by Thursday I had like 20,500 and change and I lost some back down to 290 and then I made it back up again. So still in a little bit of a positive, right? But I'm feeling like I need to I need I need a bigger uh amount added to my base. And no joke, guys, like this feels like my real money. I'm not even joking. Like every dollar or penny lost is a big deal to me. It really, really is. A huge deal. Okay. So I think it's really cool that there are um, these time-based considerations. They help so much to keep you um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like organ, keep you focused, right? Because right now we're in the chop, right? And I rewatched ICT's vid on his Thursday vid explaining what should happen when you're in the chop, right? So it's and how you could kind of manage it, right? So the Nasdaq is hanging out inside of this fair value gap, so it will need to decide what it wants to do, and then let's see what the Dow is doing. So interestingly enough, the Dow has taken out its high right here. But still very slow. For it has its buy side all the way up here. So I would expect them to come get it. It's juicy, it's beautiful. Same thing up here for the NASDAQ, which I'm not trading. And let's be honest, the closest draw to liquidity for sell side is here and here and right here. So very slow and irritatingly choppy behavior. Just gonna wait. This is what I'm here for, to learn to be seriously patient. And let's get out of here so we can see on the 15 what's happening. Still have this big candle. And then on the 1 hour, you can see that. Now, depending on how much movements happen, so we had this much movement, they're consolidating. I would expect like a decent move in either direction. Ah, Kitty's up. Kitty has left his hiding spot. So just make a note. Lawrence Broken. Um, hanging just below the just below an old New Week opening gap. So what I'm looking for is for them to bust out of this range. Well, this is fair value gap, and turn it into an inversion fair value gap, and then take off. So something like that. Now if I'm going for 20 ticks, 21, 22, that will dip us into here. I mean, I personally feel like when they take off, they're gonna take all of this out, right? And they've been holding this in stasis for quite some time. If they really want to continue down, they need to take this out. And then eat into that. But right now, we are just, we'll use this as our litmus. And right now we are just hanging out here. Like what would this be? Just below this, 10 ticks, okay? So just for the giggles and what knocked me out. Let's see, we've gone midpoint of that. Below that guy, how far do they go? It's a good move, 100 tick. Very nice move. How long did it take? Not as long as it takes to wait for these moves, that's for sure. An hour 35. I mean, let's be honest, right? You take out this buy side, you wait for it to tap in here, go in a little bit. I mean, say you took 100 ticks, that's not bad. That's pretty great. Like, it's a good move. I personally want to catch, up to here once they tap it, come in a little bit. Honestly, I would have wanted to have held for them to tap it here, but look how long that would have taken with this molasses. Like we had to wait till Monday. With it being Friday, take that high out. Actually, take this one out and see where the fib would estimate. So if we're taking this out, that one's too close. Right there, 41.7425. Beautiful. That's where I would have won. I think that's where I had my take profit, but I decided to just take the 22 ticks because that's like 5 handles at minimum. Just get it. Anyway. Waiting, just waiting. There's no guarantee we'll get anything, but we're so close to it. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't want to come back up to the midnight price, and then the 8 p.m. price opening is up here as well. I'm not mistaken. Actually, sorry, this guy. So I didn't bother to 8 p.m. 0 GMT. Yeah. Yep. 8:30, 8:10. Sorry, this one. So these guys are really close. We've been hanging about them. This is the first thing I think, if we're lucky, this is a Judas swing. And we can take a nice run, at least back into this guy. Midpoint 41.73. Let's estimate at Once it breaks out of here, if it gives us an opportunity, that's 24 ticks. See? And I'm thinking buy side's all the way up here. It's not too far, so midpoint of that, 36 ticks. Leave my stop loss at 20, so I keep a lot of it. 20 ticks at minimum. 5 handles. 40 ticks is 10 handles. So if I were to be really have, this is not really much of a swing level, but that's where we're stuck right now. Oh. I don't have anything past -3 on this one. Okay. Delete that. Let's use this swing low for a second here. All right. Well, actually, it would be this swing high, wouldn't it? I would use that. Hey, my window just opened up. Let's see. And just for shits and giggles, take that out. We have this fair value gap in here. They've been skirting the halfway point with. So they have the rest of this to eat up. Okay. Let's zoom in. So once it looks like it wants to get past this, hello. Hello there. All right, let's drop down to the 1 minute. Okay. Isn't it fascinating? Still inside of it. Okay. Right. Let's see here. $64.50. It's gonna be one of those instant rebalance things. So I wanted this to close above it. It did. All right, so I'm gonna buy right here and see what happens. This is no longer like testing out the other because it came up. I should have waited for it to instantly rebalance, but it closed above this thing, so let's see. We laid a body above it, so I don't know that this matters as much anymore. It left us a fair value gap, which I should have taken the order inside of, right there. But we did close above this dealing range, supposedly, so. Unless I'm wrong about the range, and it should be from here to here. But we've just been caught inside of this thing. So if I set my take profit, let's just make sure we know where 20 ticks lies. So if I get 21. and take our hands off of the keyboard now. Except to mitigate loss if as needed. See what everybody else is doing. So I think I can stand to move that to 8 ticks. So I really just want to keep my loss at $100 if I can manage it. And honestly, if it closes the body below this thing, then I'm wrong. Anyway, see what others. So these guys, all right. Nasdaq's, the Dow is still being, the Dow hasn't moved. Nasdaq has broken out of its little shell. Equal, created relative equal highs there. Should have waited. Let me mitigate my losses here. Didn't turn into an inversion. I should have waited for this to come out and then create a proper thing above here. I jumped the gun a bit, y'all. Jumped the gun a bit. And this is why I'm here doing this with this medium versus using real money, because otherwise I'm gonna wreck myself, right? It did break out, but it didn't give us what we wanted. And I got a little excited, a little trigger happy. So it came back into this order block. So far it's respecting this one. Let's see. I needed to break out of here properly, like within the next candle or two. This is a very balanced price range. Like there's no reason for them to have to come all the way back down here anyway. So we have juicy sell side, buy side here for you to play with. So one thing I was really like extra emotional on Friday. So I kept killing my good trades or whatever. So just need to be patient. The way they're behaving around this doesn't give me a lot of confidence for what this particular fair value gap can do for me. So, it's laying multiple bodies across it. So, I don't know. Probably should have waited for a more like juicy break, you know. And it didn't take this out. It took this out. I want to see how it behaves. Still playing with concepts I don't really understand as well as I should, I think. And dang it, no, we're just back in the dealing range, just hanging out, making me twitchy. Yeah. I should have waited for this to be taken out. Like a proper, I need to have laid something proper above it. But now they're just being annoying. I mean, they broke above it, so they broke out of it. So I feel like they're gonna go up. My entry wasn't perfect. That's all. I should waited for them to lay a proper body above here on the 1 minute. So it's impressive that they can hold it down like that. Like it hasn't moved. And if it has, then it's like so minuscule. Maybe like if I had the seconds option, right? I could see what they're doing, but I feel like at my level, it's just way too much. It's way too much information, you know? Like way too much details. But I'm really expecting a high resistance move if I do get this anyway. We've seen the chop, right? Okay, so they've now closed three bodies above what I consider to be the dealing range, but they're not moving away from it. Look at the 5 minute. This is where they gave me all that false hope. uh, it's moving. Stuck. Stuck. Window stuck. What's the dollar doing? See, I'm okay if the dollar's consolidating. That's perfectly acceptable. It's coming down a little bit. We need to break below here. That give us a little leeway to move up. Oh, it unstuck itself. So I'm risking 8 for 21. Now, what did we do here? We made relatively equal highs right there. I mean, given that I'm bullish, I feel like they're gonna dig back into this fair value gap, at least come back into the midnight opening price, and but they might just take their time in doing that. Consider it like a proper break. Testing out how to trade it when it's sitting in this chop. And we don't have any explosive movements. It's very annoying. Now, see, this candle that closed above that, this is where I should have taken the entry. See how it came back? Rebalanced right there. But they created a fair value gap, right? So I don't know that I feel like it's going to, per what I'm learning from ICT, it should expand, but the expansion shouldn't be like too crazy, right? So now we're going to expand and get into this new week opening gap, I think. Let's see what everybody else is doing. Okay, Nasdaq's moving up. The Dow is also finally moving up. The dollar, oh, the dollar is turning around. That is not good for this particular trade. It's technically consolidating, and that's probably why it's still so very slow. So I think this is the time when I take my hands off of the keyboard and submit to the setup such as it is. So sluggish. I mean, you can give me 21 takes, right? I mean, that's not difficult, right? Come on, you can do it. That's all I'm asking for. Ooh, it gapped up a little bit. Let's see how this candle closes. It's created a volume imbalance right in here. I like it's really fighting to just give me 8 ticks. Like it's very choppy. Very, very, very annoyingly choppy. 10 seconds left on this candle. We have a volume imbalance right here. If it stays that way. I prefer if they, okay. Let's just note that it's there and see how they behave inside of it. Do you want to like, it's a draw on, it's a draw, but I don't know if I feel like they need to really do anything but tap it and go. They might want to rebalance it, but not close a candle inside of it. So let's see. Let's delete that. Man, they are like fighting me for every tick. This is not the type of environment that I really want to be trading inside of. So my preference is that they rebalance it and then continue up. Okay, so they closed the candle inside of it, balanced it off, and then still have these juicy equal highs up here for them to come into. So I'm expecting expansion from here. Come on, you can do it. There we go. You can give me 20 ticks. So the midpoint of this new week opening gap is actually here once I get into it. And then the new tiny new week opening gap that's inside of it is here. And I'm not even trying to go, I feel like the draws all the way up to here, 4173. Um, there's an old high here and fair value gap right in that space that I think they'll wanna like draw back into. But I mean, they finally made a proper shift here. 5 minute candle. Yeah. So it's very choppy. I don't know why they want to come back down, but let's see what they do in this volume imbalance. If they close a candle below it, then our last line of defense before I feel like closing this is here. The wicks can do damage, that's okay, but the bodies need to stay inside of this thing for them to continue respecting it. Uh, so just gonna have to be patient and wait. And in this chop, you're gonna have to deal with all this back and forth. Man, trying to get 5 handles in this morning is rough, son. So rough. So my take profit is at this little spot right here with this. I don't know that I feel like that's anything. At minimum, the midpoint should be where I roll in. Come on now. Well, they've laid a body below it, so I don't care about that as much anymore. I have this guy to contend with. Wow, we can barely get 8 ticks in this moment. I'm gonna fight for every little bit. So I'm not even trying for much, just 21 ticks. And this choppity chop. They are going to make me sit here and contemplate the universe. Wow, look at that. Are they all, the highs of these are all 4169? 4169, 4169, 4169. I mean, seriously? But I have to be able to wait and wade through all of this insanity. Kitty's eating. I gotta take my fingers off of the thing because you sometimes want to just close things out, take your $75 and be happy. But I have to remember that that's not going to pay for fees, right? What I will do though is do a little, um, this guy. So let's say bottom here, this top, and I'm looking for them to take out this. So that's too close. Next area is here. The next is all the way at the other end of this thing. So I'll leave it where it's at and be happy. 5 minutes. It's hard. It's really hard. What's the next thing? I don't want 20 ticks, so I mean, this thing is really fighting to get over here. Really fighting. But I mean, what can I expect in this chop? Like, now the other thing is like this is a shift, but I'm bullish. It's a shift in a bullish area coming back down to give people discounted a discount. So if we look at this range, still in a discount, needed to take this out and get in here. Let's see. So 7:30 is the end of my general attempts at getting 5 handles in the morning. Kitty's eating. I'm very happy about that. Okay. Oh, I should let my phone update. Look at this, like fighting me for 8 handles. That really is so very choppy. All right, what's ICT talking about? Bring your note-taking instruments. We're going deep. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's gonna dig into institutional order flow and price runs. Okay, so what do we have in here? Lots, another volume imbalance created right there. I mean, it's the high of this guy, 469.50. High of this one, 469.50, 49. I don't really understand why they're doing all of that. It's just so very sluggish. Trying to get 8 ticks, dollars accumulating, so, you know, we can do our thing. I feel like getting 21 ticks in this chop is a freaking miracle personally. And it makes me want to, I'm not going to, but it makes me want to move my stop. We're coming in, wow, look at gap down. Fascinating concept, gapping. So I want to rebalance this immediately, which makes sense. I did it here. This really is a study in patience, right? So I'm just make a note about that. I'm just say entry as it broke the dealing range. High resistance. High resistance run. And given all the consolidation, at minimum, we can come back up to where it was consolidating again, is what I think. We need to break into here. So waiting for it to break into new week opening gap. So we're at 7:15. I want to be out of this by 8 o'clock. Come hell or high water. Did we just stop at 41.69 again? 50? Yeah, we did. I've been doing that a lot, making certain equal highs. Sorry, I'm gonna have a Luna bar. All right, just broke into it. There's that low of that new week opening gap. 15. I heard a proper candle broken above here. Entry could have been here. When it rolled back down to it. Now, oh, the dollar is expanding exponentially. Given that, I'm going to move this to break even basically because I don't trust it. Oh God, it's making a run. What I don't know is if it's going to be an instant response from this guy. It's so sluggish. Well, let's make a run for this order block right here. The fair value gap that's in it. It made a shift. A nice entry area. Oh, we laid a candle above that one, over that one, so we don't care about that one anymore. Let's note this guy. Makes me want to like take my measly profits and go on about my business. Come back into this little tiny order block here. You know. Mm, see what this looks like on the 5 minute. Wow, that's gross. Need to take this out. 41.70. Okay, it's reacting off of that. Lots of juiciness to come back down into. It did take these lows out. So. Mm. There's that reaction. Last line of defense for me. Dollar's going up. I mean, come on, we were just there. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Lit a candle below it. This is of no consequence. Take away. There we go. And I'm stopped out. Now, the question is, was that the most ideal entry for me? I think maybe this is. Hmm. I think this, and maybe I should not have messed with my stop loss. So what's that? 4167.25. Nothing exciting. Let me see how it behaves around it. Okay. So I should have just left my stop loss where it was. Still risking it. So let's see how it behaves around this order block right here. Okay. Why did it? Oh man, it jumped up there fast, didn't it? Fair value gap right here. Don't care about that one as much. And the dollar is coming back down. This is a terrible, terrible place. Like, that spread, that spread got me good just now. This is where I wanted that entry. It's like 10 miles away. Wow. See. So if I kept my original entry, see if we can get one tick extra. All right. In the general vicinity. Order block. This is either, you know, but that's a good lesson in the whole spreads thing. It really is. The dollar's still creeping up. Being silly, believing in the long still. Terrible entry. What is this? Oh, right. The dealing range. Come on, we're right here. Midnight price. You can defy the dollar. Just being silly. Ignore me. Still within my entry space. I should have waited for it to come back down here. Get a good entry and see how it behaves. Now these could just be quick retracements for it to continue downward. Since the dollar is moving up. Relative equal highs up here. 101,761. Yeah. Couldn't even get 20 ticks with this chop. Can you believe it? Ridiculous. Come on. So maybe we're learning that Monday mornings aren't the best mornings to try for stuff. I don't know. 20 ticks is hard to get, apparently. Sometimes when you get a bad draw, I should have been happy with my 10 ticks of awesomeness. I don't know. But I'm gonna wait, respecting this order block so far. So let's see. See if this is gonna hold it up, or if it's gonna hold it down and we're gonna drop lower. I'll mitigate my losses honestly once if it closes below there. It's really close, but we'll see. All right, so it looks like we're having a swing failure on the dollar right here. So I don't know, we might be okay. It feels like such a big range, but it's just not, it really just isn't. Start of the weekly. Honestly, I feel like they're going to want to they're going to be drawn back up into here, into this fair value gap, if we can get into this thing, if we can. So I might move this up and then just trail my stop up to follow it. Let's see the behavior. We are weak, very weak. Oh man, we've been hanging out for like an hour and we can't even get 5 handles, y'all. Like, we're about to exit my window of time for something semi-decent. They made a short-term high here. I need them to take it out. Hmm. Hmm. Dollars consolidating. Check to see what the other two are doing. So the Nasdaq's, everybody's basically in the same place. The Dow is flat. It's waiting. It's waiting. I mean, from here, yeah, the Nasdaq, the Dow is just thinking about what it wants to do. Hmm. All right. There's got to be some kind of expansion at some point. Just coming back in. On the 5 minute, the order block is really here. So there's no real fair value gap for it to come back in, and this is not really much of an order block. Let's see. Come on. Okay. I mean, they could drop me And if that's the case, I'm just gonna stop and then I'll come back tomorrow, try again. We got at most 10 ticks. Can you believe that? 10 ticks. Like it's galling, really. Yeah. Still in this bearish order block. Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And that's all that matters. Not that being wrong is a bad thing or anything. It's just a matter of uh being okay with being wrong. Because the actual entry is shift, um, order block, and I suppose there's a fair value gap somewhere in the middle of all of this for, yeah, 3, 2, 1. Still inside of it. I mean, I'm literally 2 ticks away from being stopped out, let's be honest. That's what the stop loss is for. And I can see the writing on the walls. The only thing between me and being stopped out is this thing right here. Delete that. And it can wick and take me out in T minus no time at all. Entry should have been here. And I could have been further down on the stop loss. But I'm trying to be more nimble. And I was very trigger happy and it didn't work out for me. So that's just how that works sometimes. Look at all of this volume imbalance right here. See how they behave inside of it. I wanted to bust through it like it's paper mache. It's not even there. Doesn't even exist. Mm. That means from this entry, which is where I should have entered, my 20 tick stop, my 20 ticks would be right there. It wouldn't be as far. And that's 4 ticks right there. Dang, 8 ticks would be all the way down here. Look at that. That would be nice, like right above this guy. That would be nice. But that's not what I did. So just gonna have to work with what we got. See what this volume imbalance does. It has technically, well, we got rejected off of that one. Let's see what do with this one. And out of the dealing range, so we don't need that anymore. Coiling upward. So we need them to take this out and make their way back up. So my hands are off the wheel. I'm just gonna submit to it, win or lose. The body's still inside this volume imbalance. Only reason why it matters for the moment. I need them to close something above it. I keep creating new ones. Look at it. Just it's all over the place. There's volume imbalances everywhere. Big one right there. It's not worth it when I tap it. Ten seconds, still inside of this thing. Respecting it. Looks like we're bouncing between these two now. Which one will win, you think? Sun's coming out. What's the temperature today? Wow. Who knew it was going to be this hard to get five handles, y'all? Seriously. Right now it's 57 degrees. Ooh, 68, 68. I'm trying to get some good stuff towards the end of the week. See, let's see. We're fighting. What's out of my range? We didn't get five handles. So maybe it's not really a thing. I don't know. And there I am. I'm already 5,000. Um, all right, well, that's it for the morning. For me, anyway. They want to go do other things, so I'm not gonna fight it. All right, so stopped out $100, so 340, and I'll wait for a better setup. All right, so happy hunting. Shakira out.